All right, boys and girls, we are now going to take our little plaster figures and we are going to paint them. So as you notice, I have taken all of your figures, if they were finished with their plaster, and I have glued them to a little stand to stand up your sculpture. So it can stand up like this. If you're not done with your plaster, we're going to finish that first and then wait for it to dry. It only takes a few minutes for it to dry with the plaster, and then you can start painting. So if you have covered all of the tape with your plaster and you have your person on your stand and it's dry, then you can start painting. If you do not have a stand yet, go see Miss Buettner so she can glue your person to a stand. So now when you start painting, boys and girls, you should have your paper plate and your placemat down so we don't get our tables messy. We have our paint tray, you have your paints, you have your water dish and your sponge to clean your brushes, and you have a couple different sizes of brushes. We have some really skinny brushes today and some medium-sized brushes. And this is so that we can paint the big areas with the medium brush and little tiny details with the small brush. So you can see I've already started painting my figure, but I'm just going to demonstrate how to finish painting the back because I have not finished that part yet. So I would like to finish painting my person with a red shirt. So I'm going to use my thick brush because that's a really big area to finish the shirt. So I'm just going to dip a little bit of paint on the tip. I don't want to dunk my brush, just a bit on the tip. Then I'm going to finish painting his shirt. Now, as you notice, the plaster is really bumpy, and I really have to press my paintbrush into the bumps to make sure I cover all the white. So notice how I'm not just wiping, I'm also doing little dabs. I'm dabbing the brush. And when I dab the brush, I'm getting it in those tiny little holes so that I can cover that whole area. Now there will be some spots where I can wipe like this, but then you see I have some holes, so I'm going to go back and dab all over the spots. And I'm just trying to cover his shirt, so I'm just going to go on the top. I'm not going to cover the head yet, just the arms and his belly area. And then when I finish that, I can finish the rest of my figure. So notice how I painted his legs blue. You can choose whatever color you like for your person. It does not matter. You can do rainbow colors. You can do realistic colors. But I want to change colors because I'm going to paint his head now. So I'm going to wash my brush. Remember how we wash our brushes. We dip in our water 1, 2, 3. Then we scrub on our sponge. And how do I make sure this is clean? I can test it on the top of my hand. Oh, definitely not clean yet. Let's try it one more time. 1, 2, 3, scrub. If my sponge is getting way too dirty, it's not cleaning my brush, flip it over. There we go. Okay, I've got a clean brush now, no more red on that brush, I'm good to go. So now I'm going to paint his face, and I kind of want to make a little peach color. So I'm going to use my big brush again to paint this peachish color. But I also want to put some hair on the top of his head. So I'm going to leave that top part blank, and then I'm going to paint the top of his head brown. So I'm just going to cover the face peach. Wash my brush again, dip, scrub. I'm going to take some brown now, and I'm going to paint the rest of his hair brown. Dab. All right, now after I finish the hair, I want to work on the face because I want to give him a face with some eyes, a nose, and a mouth. But if you notice, my paint is still a little bit wet. If I was to paint on that peach part when it was wet, I might kind of smear the peach paint. So I don't want to do that yet. What I'm going to do is wait for this to dry just a couple minutes. It should dry pretty fast. And then I can use my skinny brush and I can paint some eyes like this. I can paint a mouth on him if I like. It's totally up to me what I create on my person. Again, you don't have to make your person look realistic. You can make them look a little bit abstract and rainbows all over. That's totally fine. It's up to you how your person looks. So when I think I've covered all the white spaces and I like my person, it looks good, I'm going to leave this on my paper plate. I can stand it up or I can lay it down. And I'm going to write my name on my plate. So I'm going to get a pencil or a Sharpie marker. Make sure my name is on my plate if I don't have a plate yet. Then I'm going to set this on the paint counter to dry. And I am finished with my sculpture. Oh, I forgot one thing, boys and girls. I forgot to paint the bottom. If you would like to paint the bottom of the stand as well, you can definitely do that. So if you want to give the bottom of the stand a color, you can paint the bottom too. So it looks like they're kind of standing, not just on a cardboard box, but it looks like they're actually standing in a place. So you can paint the bottom of the box as well. You don't have to paint this part. Okay, let's get started.